New this morning, one man is now in custody 2 days after police say he blasted through a barricade at the U.S. border crossing in North Dakota with a pickup that he stole out of Fargo. Hi, everyone, and thank you for waking up with us on this first Monday of March. I'm Jordan Schreier here with Lisa Badeau, and we're just getting started with your news and weather to the top of the hour to help you plan your day.
The Rowlett County Sheriff's Office says this all started late Friday night when police tried stopping a reckless driver near Dunseith, North Dakota. Officers flattened one tire with stop sticks, but say the driver kept going at high speeds through town, then north to the Canadian border, where he rammed the port of entry barricade and took off into Manitoba. Canadian Mounties located the vehicle several miles from the border that night, but it was unoccupied. The county sheriff's office now says the suspect was finally located yesterday.
Deputies say a portable stop barricade was damaged, as were 2 squad cars that were hit with rocks kicked up during that chase. The pickup's rims also damaged part of the highway after the tires blew out.
Also new this morning, an elderly Minnesota man is dead after a crash involving 2 semis. The Minnesota State Patrol says the man was trying to get onto 35W in Burnsville last night when a semi pulled in front of him from the shoulder of the road. Troopers say the victim tried moving to the other lane but could not do it because of traffic, so he slammed on his brakes to avoid running into the semi. That's
when Robert Wraiths of West Fargo, the driver of the second semi, tried stopping but ended up hitting the car and pushing it into the first semi. The State Patrol is not releasing the victim's name, but does say that he is an 82-year-old from Savage, Minnesota. No one else in the crash was seriously hurt. The Army Corps of Engineers is lowering reservoir elevations in the Red River Basin to prepare for that spring snowmelt. The Corps is drawing down Lake Ashtabula near Valley City by nearly 2 feet.
Reservation Dam on Lake Traverse near Wheaton, Minnesota will also be lowered by 1.5 feet by the end of the month.
It is now 6:51 on our Monday morning. Let's check our forecast with First Alert meteorologist Lisa.
Swag on you, chilling by the fire while we eat fondue.
We are the First Alert Storm Team now, and the reason for that, well, it's good to make some changes here, and we just want to underscore our commitment to you, our viewer, to put you first. We've always done it, and we just want to underscore that we're going to continue to put you first, to first alert you to severe weather, winter storms. Of course, we just talked about flooding, and we are committing ourselves to you to make sure that you are first to know from us here in the from the Valley News Live First Alert Storm Team about the latest. And we want to alert you that we've got some changes on the way today. Here's a look at our travel conditions. Starting off nice and quiet this morning, we've got that nice sunrise. But as we work our way through the day, it's going to get a little bit more hazardous. As we head into the afternoon and evening hours, we're going to see a clipper rolling through as we work our way through the day. So that's going to increase our wind. It's going to increase our chances for some light snow and potentially even a little bit of rain mixed in there. Fitting that we just turned the calendar over to March and we're starting to see some hints at some spring weather here in the valley. It's quiet right now in the valley, looking at some quiet conditions throughout the Red River Valley. As we look off to the north and west, you can see what's coming our way. Some scattered snow in Saskatchewan that are going to be dropping their way south and eastward toward us, bringing us more hazardous conditions throughout the day. Current temperatures, single digits up along the Canadian border. We're at 5 in Langdon, 18 in Fargo, some 20s in the south. Wind is light right now out of the south or southwest. And here's a look at that hour-by-hour planner. We've got quiet conditions to start, but as early as noon, looking at that snow moving into the Devil's Lake Basin, the wind starts to pick up, so we're looking at lower visibility anywhere where we have that wind and snow combination. Scattered stuff, so not necessarily impacting all of us at any given time, but the potential certainly there. Heading into the afternoon, low to some upper 30s, so that's going to have some impacts on accumulation. Might just be some wet roads or maybe a little bit of slush impacting us, and then gradually that moves off to the east. We see a little rain potentially mixing in into tonight. So some hazardous conditions for that evening drive. Might get a little slick out there. And then overnight, this starts to move on. Heading into your 7-day planner, a little more unsettled. Wednesday and into Thursday, another clipper moves through. And then heading into the weekend, we may see another round of snow on Sunday. And now for a look at traffic, here's Devin Fry with the Valley Today's traffic on the move.
Thank you, Lisa. Jason, good morning, Red River Valley. We're going to be finishing up this hour on what may be our busiest roadway of the morning. We're in the northbound lanes of I-29, or it's heading toward Grand Forks. Now, there's a steady stream of traffic on this interstate. You can see up ahead there. It's moving consistently down the roadway, and it's also being fed from both lanes of I-94. There's steady streams of vehicles coming in from both the east and westbound lanes of I-94, all heading north toward Grand Forks. I-94 was actually looking a little bit lighter than it usually is, which is a rare occurrence for sure, but it made for a pretty ideal driving situation there. And even here, even though it's getting a little bit busier, a little bit more loaded up on vehicles, it's still moving smoothly. You can see there's plenty of room around me, and we're all going about the speed limit here on I-29. So really an ideal situation for your morning drive, even if it is a little bit more crowded up above here on I-29, I should say. We're going to keep checking out the roadways the next hour on the Fargo CW, but for now, for your traffic on the move, I'm Devin Fry.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar's presidential campaign rally ended in a cancellation last night after activists stole the stage before the start of the event. They were calling for the release of Brian Burrell, a man who was convicted while Klobuchar was the Hennepin County attorney.
Burrell is serving a life sentence in the death of an 11-year-old girl who was hit by a stray bullet while doing her homework at the dining room table in 2002. The case was reported to have misleading evidence. After nearly 90 minutes of protest, Klobuchar's campaign canceled the event. And Pete Buttigieg is dropping out of the presidential race after finishing at the back of the pack in Saturday's primary in South Carolina.
The 38-year-old former South Bend, Indiana mayor was the first openly gay candidate to make a competitive run for the White House. Tomorrow, voters will be heading to the polls to cast their vote in the primary election, also known as Super Tuesday.
And joining us in studio this morning to break down where the candidates rank ahead of the election is the Valley Today's Abby Furchner. Good morning, Abby.
Good morning, Jordan and Lisa. Tomorrow, voters in 14 states will head to the polls for Super Tuesday. And one of the states voting is Minnesota. This makes tomorrow a big day for Senator Amy Klobuchar. In 2016, the primary election in Minnesota was a caucus, but this year, people will have a ballot to vote for their favorite candidate. In 2016, Bernie Sanders won the Minnesota caucus. But take a look at this. Klobuchar is leading in Minnesota at 29%, with Sanders behind her at 23%. Even though Klobuchar has been a senator in Minnesota for quite some time, still 21% are undecided. This could make Super Tuesday interesting because those votes could go for or against her. And tonight, ahead of Super Tuesday, Senator Sanders will be campaigning in Minnesota. He will appear at a Get Out and Vote rally at River Center in St. Paul at 7:30 p.m. But let's take a look at where the candidates sit nationally. Sanders is leading the way at 28.8%, with Biden following behind him with 16.7%. Then in third, Bloomberg, fourth, Warren, and Klobuchar coming in at fifth. Now, this poll is combined with likely and registered voters, and it's subject to change as the day goes on. And live on our Facebook page, we want to hear from you. We want to know what issues are most important to you, so you can head over to our page and vote. There are 2 different posts, so make sure you're checking for both. Back to you, Jordan and Lisa.
Thank you, Abby. And remember, you can find more information on tomorrow's primary election, including the posted results, by going online and using our VNL News app.
A 13-year-old girl is remembering Landon Solberg with a special song. He lost his battle with brain cancer last September, but his light, it doesn't dim. Annabelle Maher was inspired by his legacy and wrote a song in his honor. Now you can download Landon's song on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes. Every dime Annabelle gets from the song is going to Landon's Light Foundation to help other kids battling cancer.
A downtown Fargo restaurant is going to be in the national spotlight tomorrow. Birnbaum's is going to be featured on the Cooking Channel. The Nordic Jewish restaurant has been getting rave reviews from loyal customers for years. And Chef Andrea Baumgartner has just been nominated for the prestigious James Beard Award for Culinary Excellence. Tune in to Man vs. Food tomorrow on the Cooking Channel to see what dishes Birnbaum's serves up. Spring can't be too far behind if the Moorhead Dairy Queen and Tasty Freeze are back taking orders. They both opened yesterday for the 2020 season.
The downtown DQ has been serving up their treats since 1949. And for opening day yesterday, people lined the block to get their blizzards and dilly bars. And the Moorhead Tasty Freeze also opened its doors yesterday, just north of the MSUM campus. Both shops, they will be open now through October.
Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. On average, you'll have 96 of these a year. What are we talking about?
The answer is bad hair days, or so you think they're bad hair days. I'm sure everyone's looking great out there today. But today, we might have a bad hair day later on with some stuff falling from the sky.
Yeah, you might need a little extra hairspray. Bring that brush with you too for this afternoon and evening. Right now it's quiet. We've got temperatures ranging from 7 in Langdon to 25 in Wahpeton. It's 17 degrees currently in Fargo. And looking at your hourly planner, we're starting off our morning with a nice sunrise. We'll see increasing chances for rain and snow coming up for the afternoon. And it might get a little bit messy out there for that evening drive. Off and on snow chances this week.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now for more live up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo